Yeah, welcome along to the Full Tilt Recordings YouTube channel. Today we're going to be taking a look at my vocal chain processing and all the various kind of effects that I use whenever I'm sitting down to do production on a vocal track. It's quite in depth, so I'm going to split the video into two parts. The processing side, which will cover the compression and EQ, and the effect side, which is mainly looking at sort of the way I set up my reverbs and delays and any extra sort of processing like that. So yeah, in saying that, we're going to be using the vocals from Deirdre McLaughlin's Ethereal Trance Vocals Pack, which is out now actually on our Full Tilt Recordings website. I'll put a link in the description if you like the vocals that we're using here today. So yeah, with that said, I think we're ready to jump right in. So let's get a look under the bonnet. Okay, let's jump into the project now. Not much going on here. I've just got a bit of a backing track, just pads and things that we use whenever we're actually writing the vocal. And here's all the vocals in pink. First thing I like to do is do a slight bit of gain staging on the vocals. So just to give you a little look. Standing tall, who will take the fall? Right, so as you can see, that line there is a little bit lower than the rest of them. The reason I do this, it won't hit the compressor hard when we get into it, and a little bit, so I'm just going to give that a little bit more gain to even it up with the rest of them. Soldiers, I just scan through the rest of them then and see. Standing tall, who will take the fall? Another day turns into night. So you can see the difference between these few audios snippets. Here, I'm just going to increase the gain slightly. And again, doing that at this stage gives the compressor a little bit less to do. We're searching for the light. One more chance to put it right. We can make it through the night. Bring me back to life. Okay, cool. Scanning through the rest of it. Yeah, you can see this one as well. Two at the end are a little bit lower. You don't mind a bit of dynamic, but not too much. So I'm just going to increase a wee bit of the gain there as well, and a little bit here also. So yeah, just at a quick glance, they all look relatively decent now as far as an even enough level. There's no massive differences, basically, is what you'd be looking for. I have a video done on vocal tuning there, so I'm just going to put on an Autotune initially. I'll leave a description of the video for tuning vocals in the description of this video. Okay, right, let's get some Autotune. That's the very first one that I tend to put into my inserts. So bang that in. As I say, I've got a full video on Autotune as well. Not just Autotune, but using the likes of Varia Audio. So basically getting your vocals tuned before you can start. So here we go. I know this song is in E minor. Now, I'm not looking for a mad Autotune effect. I'll set it to Deirdre's range. Standing tall, who will take the fall? Okay, that's a wee bit too much. Just to show anybody who's not aware. We're searching for the light. One more chance. So if you want to go nuts, you can do that. But usually I might just dial in roughly about 12 o'clock. Just to put it right. We can make it. Just to smooth it off a little bit. Through the night. I prefer if you can't actually hear it. But very, very slightly hear it. I know it's a bit of a contradiction, but okay, next thing in my chain, 90% of the time I'm using a 1073. This is a UAD mic, this plugin. So it's a preamp and EQ. I really like this one actually. The preamp itself adds a nice little bit of sort of harmonics to things. Which I really, really like. You can get a little bit too much drive off it, so you do have to be kind of careful with it as well. you can get the same result from other things. It again depends on the flavor that you're looking for. 1073 is one of the preamps, lovely on it. The other thing that I would use in replace of that, if I felt the 1073 didn't suit the song, I might use a decapitator, or possibly even a Saturn as well. That's the one from Fab Filter.
Standing tall, who will take the fall? Another day turns into night. We're searching for the light. One more chance to put it right.
You can really hear that grit on the vocal. Now, for my taste, that's a little bit too much. I just like a little bit for a little bit of bite.
We can make it through the night. Bring me back to life, and we will fight at the dawning of.
So yeah, that's pretty cool. I'm just going to add a little bit of air in here. I should just turn on the EQ down here and adding a little bit of air. So I'm just going to actually add a little bit of color and EQ to the overall vocal right now. So, and you do need to be careful with this on the 1073. It can get a little bit harsh, but it can be really sweet as well. So,
and we will pray that tomorrow lights our way.
Okay, that's pretty nice. So yeah, I'm literally just looking around for sort of sweet spots and maybe stuff that's actually sort of popping out that doesn't sound great.
And we may fall and falter through the gates. I see you, and I see true.
Yeah, that 5K, I think it's actually quite nice in her voice there. And around here, around 1K is a little bit, I wouldn't just say honky, but it's
I see you.
It's a little bit harsh, so I'm just going to pull that back a tiny bit as well on the EQ. So yeah, that is cool, and maybe we'll just check in around the low here, see what it's like.
Standing tall, who will take the fall? Another day turns into.
Yeah, like the type of vocal that I'm going for here, I'm going for something kind of light enough anyway, so I don't want too much of that around the 200 hertz mark, so I'm just going to pull that back a tiny bit as well. And I'm also just going to stick a little high pass there. I'll stick it on for 80 now.
We're searching for the light.
Well, we could even go 160 on it.
Chance to put it right. We can make it through the night. Bring me back to life.
Okay, already kind of taking a little bit of shape anyway, like, just knock this on and off.
We'll fight at dawning of the day, and we will pray that tomorrow lights our way.
So yeah, that's already starting to make the vocal pop a little bit there, which is a great starting point for us. So, right, next thing. 1176. So yeah, I'm going to load this one in. The main reason I use the 1176 is to kind of, it's really a really good transient compressor. So yeah, it's really good at getting those initial transient from the vocal and sort of putting a little bit of manners on them.
Another soldier standing tall, who will take the fall? Another day turns into.
So I'm going to get a kind of fast enough attack on that. Medium release.
One more chance to put it right. We can make it through the night.
Just want to balance input and output a little bit.
Back to life.
Yeah, you just need to be careful you don't overly compress. I'm sort of getting sort of -3, -5 dB reduction there.
We'll fight at the dawning of the day.
Okay, that's looking pretty good.
And we will pray that tomorrow lights our
Just
way.
quicken up the attack a little bit.
And we may fall and falter through the gates. I see you, and I see true.
Right, so you can see as I'm increasing the input here, that it's actually adding a little bit more compression as I go here. So I just felt I could get a little bit more out of it.
And I see true.
So yeah, you can really hear it working there at the very end. Don't think it's too much. Lovely, lovely. Okay, so that's that job done on the 1176. I'm going to go now to the LA2A, which is one of my favourite compressors. It just really smooths off the overall vocal sound. And again, I'm using the UAD one as well. And yeah, I absolutely love this compressor. So yeah, the LA2A, let's get a look at it now. Another brilliant compressor. I use it mainly on vocals and bass, which I find it works really well with. There's only 2 controls on it, so you can't, well, 2 main dials. You can't really mess it up too much. Waves do a version of this. There's other companies do versions of this as well, and look, they're all equally as good. So whatever you do, don't get caught up on what I'm using. You know, it's a lot of it's just kind of flavors and tastes. And we will pray that so here you've got your peak reduction. So yeah, some people do get confused with this gain. This is not an input into the LA2A. This is actually an output. The only thing that actually affects the compression that's happening is this peak reduction here, and this increases the output. So yeah, I usually tend to work obviously with the peak reduction first, get somewhere that's sort of sitting nice with the vocal, and move on from there. We're searching for the light, one more chance to put it right. We can make it through the night. It's sitting pretty good. I just brought up the output a little bit. Dial it back a little bit. It's a little bit heavy. And the thing you do need to be careful with, you know, with the LA2A, I do find it ends up, if you over compress, it starts adding in sort of a lot of, you're getting a lot of the boominess out in the vocals, which you do need to be careful with. Tomorrow lights away, and we may fall and falter through the gates. I see you, and I see true. Okay, that's nice and steady now. Steady and smooth. I think that's kind of what you're looking for whenever you're actually using a compressor for vocals. Next thing, I'm going to do some coloring EQ. For this, I really do like this. The UAD one. It's called the Chandler Limited Curve Bender EQ. Just really love the dials on it. Really love working with it. It's quite intuitive. You can sort of get a sound that you're after quite easily. Again, it's nothing you can't do with any other EQ, but I like the feel of this one. Soldier standing tall, who will take the fall. I'm just looking for that little bit of bite from it there, up around 12k. Another day turns into night. Give it an extreme so you can hear and bring it back. Searching for the light. That's quite nice. One more chance to put it right. We can make it through the night. Bring me back. Yeah, I think for me, my personal taste, that's the way I kind of use the EQs. I tend to boost it a little bit and around the frequency I'm thinking I'm looking at, and then just kind of dial it. See what I did there? I kind of just boosted the 12 dB or the 12 kilohertz by about 4 or 5 dB there, just to get a taste for it. Went up to 16, wasn't sound too bad. Went down to 10, didn't think it was just, it was a little bit more harsh. 12 to me was kind of the sweet spot there. And we will fight at the dawning of the day. Right, I'm gonna, so that's a wee bit of air added. I'm gonna look in around, let me see, I'll get a look in around 500 hertz here. Sometimes you get a little bit of honkiness from a vocal in here. I'm going to boost it. Tomorrow lights away, and we may fall and falter through the gates. It's actually in around for 4 there. I might just pull that back a little bit. I see you, and I see truth. Yeah, nice. And around the 3k, I usually tend to see if I can get a bit of bite from a vocal, anywhere between 2 and 4k. Again, I do the same thing. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to boost it by about 3 dB or so, and then flick through 2, 3 and 4 and see which is sounding nice.
I see you, and I see truth.
2.8's nice.
Another soldier standing tall.
3.6 is nicer.
Who will take the fall?
Ooh.
Another day turns into night. We're searching for the light.
No, I like that 4K there on that one actually. So I'm going to give that just a tiny little boost as well. It's all small amounts that you're adding to this, but it all kind of adds to the grand scale of things.
One more chance to put it right. We can make it through the night. Bring me back to life, and we will fight at the dawning of the day.
Now I'm going to leave that low range on that there for now. I think I'm pretty happy with that.
And we will pray that tomorrow lights our way.
Okay, next up is the Pro Q. Love this actually as well. Again, it's got its uses. What I tend to do is use it for an EQ and a little bit of a de-esser as well. So first and foremost, I'm just going to roll off some of the low end here.
Lights our way, and we may fall and falter through the gate.
Yeah, and around 100 Hertz is fine for now to get us to start.
I see you,
The C's.
and I see truth.
Not too bad there, but we'll just pull them back a slight bit. So I'm going to use the dynamic, which is really good because you're not taking too much of the integrity away of the vocal.
I see you, and I see truth.
So what that basically does is there's nothing happening until it breaks this threshold, and then it starts turning it down. So it started acting, that's roughly in around, 9, 10K there, even down as far as 7, where the actual sort of sibilance happens.
Another soldier standing tall. Who will take the fall? Another day turns into night. We're searching for the light.
Yeah, that's pretty good to
One
me.
more chance to put it right. We can make it.
Yeah, what I also like the Pro Q for is just a surgical EQ. So I'm going to just have a look.
Night. Bring me back to life, and we will fight at the dawning of the day.
It's a little bit honky in there too, so I'm just going to take a wee dip here, maybe widen it a little bit.
Tomorrow lights our way, and we may fall and falter through the gates.
Yeah, I'm going to look in around here, anywhere sort of from 1K down to about 500 Hertz and see if there's anything nasty there that needs to come out.
I see you, and I see truth. I see you, and I see truth.
Slight dip there, about 500. And I'm just going to get a look up here as well.
Soldier.
Roughly about from 1K to about 3K, 4K. Let's get a look.
Standing tall, who will take the fall? Another day turns into night. We're searching for the light.
Right.
One more chance.
So there's a little bit of harshness up there around sort of 3.5K. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take a little bit of that out. There's a sweet spot there as well, so we kind of need to be careful because I don't want to actually take away from the vocal itself. So it'll be making it quite a narrow cue.
Put it right. We can make it through the night. Bring me back to life, and we will fight at the dawning of the day.
Okay, that's sounding pretty smooth already. Just to give you an idea of what we've
One
done.
more chance to put it right. We can make it through the night. Bring me back to life.
Yeah, so you can hear that compression sound, you hear the brightness, and it's sort of really poking out there, which I really like.
And we will fight at the dawning of the day.
Yeah, I hope you enjoyed this little sort of walkthrough of how I kind of treat my vocals and the systems that I use. As I say, there's no correct or wrong way of doing it, really, as long as you get the best sound that you can possibly get. I know loads of guys still actually use the delay on the insert on the channel, which is fine. I prefer to have a separate fader for it because I can treat it differently. I might want to add a bit of distortion on it. I can do EQ on it, and I've also got fader control off that effect. That's why I like to do it that way. So yeah, there's no right or wrong way. That's just the way I do things, and that's my point of actually doing these, is to show you a little bit of how I work, my workflow, and what actual plugins that I'm actually using and how I'm using them. So yeah, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. I will be putting up more content similar to this. If you enjoyed it, let me know. If you didn't, let me know. And also, if you have any suggestions of anything else you'd like to see from me production wise, there is some more videos on the way about vocal production, so keep an eye on the channel for that, and don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification so you won't miss a thing. And also, finally, if you like the vocals on this, that sample pack is available from our website, fulltiltrecordings.com. It's called Ethereal Trance Vocals from our very own Deirdre McLaughlin. I hope you enjoyed this video. See you all soon again.